Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at REDESIGNED BMW in Tampa, Florida, because guess what? We have it, and we have it first. This is the all-new, totally redesigned BMW 4 Series. This particular one, we got a good one. It's an M440i with that xDrive all-wheel drive system. But before we dive in to this all-new 4 Series, let's talk about what's going on here. So it all started with the E21. Such a piece of BMW history, and if you go back even further, BMW's been around for so many decades, producing everything from airplanes and airplane engines to motorcycles, and of course cars and SUVs that we really have gravitated towards, especially if you're looking for that luxury and especially performance. Now with this G22 chassis, because that's what we're on now, we've gone from F to the letter G. We're looking at a 4 Series that is going to be even a little bit more specific compared to the 3 Series. So what they did was they actually stiffened up the chassis a little bit more. They're running a little bit different suspension setup to give you more feedback going to that steering wheel. But one thing is for certain, BMW wants to really recreate that whole ultimate driving machine experience. And with this 4 Series, you're going to get that redesign. And that really is the talking point. A lot of arm wrestling, a lot of tongue wrestling, maybe even some mud wrestling going on. But boy, oh boy, when it comes to the front fascia, there's a lot of debating going on whether BMW has gone in the right direction. So let's go ahead, let's find out if this luxury sports coupe, the M440i, is that ultimate driving machine. Right off the bat, all new styling, all new sheet metal. Let's start off with the headlight housing. So you're gonna of course have your full, that BMW intelligent LED headlight setup. We have the daytime running lamps on to showcase how they're still bringing that halo trademark to the front end of this new 4 Series. Really like the design of the headlights, the way that they have it all laid out on that interior. Looks really fresh, crisp, definitely 21st century, especially with what's going on the corner there. Now, as we drop down, here's that new front fascia. We have a functional side air curtain that's massive. And then the good news is on the M440i, all of this is gonna be functional to bring air to those coolers. And that's what I like to see. When you see the M badge, this is not an M4, but you are gonna get some greater performance out of that straight 6 that's underneath the hood. Really like the way they kept that design philosophy of integrating everything into the front fascia. There's no additional splitter or canards or anything like that. It's all melded in very nicely. Now, as we come across the grille, there's the big talking point. Boy, oh boy, have grille sizes grown since that early E20. But what I do like is we have on our particular one, this flat gray that goes around the perimeter of each of these two. I would say they're kidney shape, but they're not. They're definitely more nostril shape. I'm still not 100% sold on it, but you know what? The longer you stare at this car, I think the more you kind of appreciate how it all blends in nicely with the body lines. Now, what they did is that if you notice, we have a straight cut hood here. So the BMW emblem is now in the front fascia, totally separate from that hood, and they really kept that nice actual body design that ties it back to the different generations. But I like the way the BMW logo is kind of recessed into that front fascia. Down below, you're gonna have more functionality in this opening. Some people are referring it a little bit to a bit of a smiley face, but with this particular color, I think it's working, and it's starting to grow on me. You do have active shutters. That's why you see all of this blocked off. These are gonna open up at speed, and of course all of this is fully functional at the bottom. But definitely the new 4 Series is wider than the previous one, a little bit longer and a little bit longer wheelbase. But we get up onto that hood, nice simple body lines. I really like this particular one because it kind of has a nice little bend here as it goes towards the A-pillar. The other two that offset that kind of just fade away. So it's keeping that clean German design with the body lines, but it's going to be interesting how people, more and more people, when they see the car in person, I think that's where it starts to speak for itself. If you've only seen it in pictures, and now you're seeing it here on Rady's Rides, wait until you see it at your local BMW dealership, or you can come down to Reeves and check it out here. But as we come around the bend, you can see we have our standard 18-inch wheel on our particular setup. They are M branded, which is a nice touch. You don't have the center caps that self-center themselves as you sit still, but that is an option that you can add to it. Now, if you're wondering, well, Joe, what is the size of this setup? You're basically looking at that 18-inch wheel. You're gonna have a 13.6-inch rotor, obviously ventilated. Nice size on the caliper, that beautiful metallic blue with the M branding on it. Kind of pops out nicely from behind the wheel, but simple, clean design. There is an optional 19-inch wheel that I would definitely check the box off to kind of fill up that space a little bit more. Now, as we go into the fender, no venting whatsoever. They took a nice body line to kind of simulate that branding from the side fender on a BMW, and that runs all the way down and then kind of curves up and disappears. The way they did that side sill extension looks super clean, and I do like the way on our particular one, we do have the nice flat gray on the mirror caps with those slim and trim LED turn signals that are built in. This matches nicely with the grille. Standard size sunroof, gloss black around the window treatment, and I think the quarter window really has a nice overall design, and the way that they took the trim and flared it out the back keeps it really clean. Guess what? If you're tall like me, we're gonna find out, but they're saying that on this G22 chassis, because of the width and the length, there's more room for full-size adults in that back seat, but we'll see if it's true. Really like the nice curved belt line as we go past that gas cover door. Obviously, we have X-Drive, so we have all-wheel drive, gonna get that power to the ground. And as we wrap it up on the rear, you're gonna have a tasteful color-matched trunklet spoiler. I do like the nice little kick up. We have our beautiful flat gray M440i badging. Digging the new taillights, especially the bottom section here as it kind of dips down. They did flare out the rear bumper area, but I am gonna zonk this fake vent. What I probably would have done is taken the DOT required reflector and put that in there instead of the fake vent, but I do like the way it flares out. It gives it a really aggressive look. You have that unique style to the BMW exhaust, a little bit of a nice dip that they put in there so it doesn't look just like a standard vacuum cleaner exhaust tip. And as we come around the back, one thing I want to point out on this 2021, look where they put the backup camera. Really clean, right into that BMW logo. So much history. Bavarian Motor Works goes back for so many years. And then I'm digging the gloss black rear diffuser. Nothing too crazy, but it kind of balances out. But why don't we get to the big talking point? Let's pop the hood in front of that grille and see what's powering our M440i. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do still, of course, have hydraulic hood struts. Underneath that hood, tasteful engine cover. I like the M Performance badge, the BMW badge, and of course our BMW logo. You could see the bracing that they have put at the front end of the business. And this, the 4 Series, the M440i, has more bracing than the 3 Series to really separate it from its 4-door sister vehicle. Now, if you're looking at this vehicle and you're saying, well, Joe, what are we talking about power? You're looking at a 3-liter inline-6 turbocharged engine, 382 horsepower, 369 foot-pounds of torque. You're going to be, of course, mated to a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. Power getting to the ground through that X-Drive all-wheel drive system. 0 to 60, this is not the M4, guys, but check this out. 0 to 60, 3.8 seconds. Quarter mile is going to blaze by at 12.3 seconds at 112 miles an hour. Top speed is 155 miles per hour. Now, the car weighs 3,986 pounds. MPGs, 22 in the city, 31 on the highway. And I think what you're going to find is you're going to get that lower center of gravity, and really looking more and more at this 4 Series, it has a really close resemblance, especially from the side profile, to a Mini 8 Series rather than the 3 Series. It's kind of has a unique flavor compared to the 3 Series. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this inline-6 turbocharged engine and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the 2021 BMW M440i. I know you're at that point. You're like, Joe, I've been waiting for this car for a while. Trust me, so have I. I'm digging the styling. I really want a two-door sport luxury style coupe. How much is this particular one? The way that this one is optioned, you're looking at an MSRP right around $65,000. Let's see what you get for your money. To the door panels, I love the two-tone. I'm so glad I picked this one because you're gonna have that beautiful silver work going on there. This has the optional Harman Kardon sound system, and then the black with the tan is spot on the money. The stitch work is beautiful. The way they designed the armrest, even the top portion of the door with the contrast stitching looks really clean. Door pocket is a little tight there, so you'll be able to get maybe a can of Coca-Cola. You're gonna have to skip Chipotle and just go get a taco from Taco Bell, maybe two, and you could go a little bit extra on the cheese, but that's about it. Now, when you go from the door panel to the dash, soft touch material, I'm really digging this beautiful texture that they have here. It's not meant to look like carbon fiber, and I'm glad. It's nice to have some new, fresh design. The silver is great, especially the way it kind of wraps around the AC vent, and then we have our infotainment system. So this one has your standard 8.8 inch. You can get an optional 10.25 inch touchscreen, but ours is the 8.8 inch. Navigation, it does have Apple CarPlay, which is really nice. You do have the touchscreen, and I'm really digging the way they integrate it nicely into the rest of the dash. You could go into your different features to set up your vehicle. You could even go into your different modes. You have, of course, sport. That's going to change the suspension, the throttle, the way the transmission behaves with the engine. You got comfort. And then, of course, you have Eco Pro, which is great. Now, we're going to be running in Sport Plus to really maximize the performance, to showcase what this vehicle is all about. Let me throw it into reverse for you. There's your backup camera. Clear as day. Love the trajectory and all that sensory technology to make sure that you're not going to bump your beautiful M440i against anything else. You do have heated seats, but no ventilated seats. So I am going to zonk that at $65,000, but I like the silver work. Slim and trim on the radio controls like you usually find in a BMW. There's more of that texture material, liking the leather on the side, which is really clean. And then, of course, we're going to open up door number one. You have your wireless charging pad, two cup holders, a USB, and a 12 volt. And what's nice is it closes and everything disappears. That's going to control that 8-speed automatic, that ZF 8-speed. Of course, you're going to have your iDrive controller knob, start-stop button. I'm glad they didn't do gloss black here, because look, no fingerprints, Mom. As we keep working our way back, let me show you the key fob. So here's your BMW key fob, looking good with the BMW logo, your M colors. Semi-soft on the armrest, but you know what? It looks damn sexy. Open it up. Hey, it's a party in here. You can literally take 1, 2, 3, I would say 6 king-size Snicker bars. You're not going to crush your nuts. A USB-C, which is great. And they give you a little bit of light so you can light up the nuts in your Snickers. And then you close it up. Seats, classy BMW styling. I love the stitch work. Nice size on the bolstering. Of course, you're going to have power assist for the passenger and the driver. You got the hamstring extension for your hammies, which is great. And then, of course, to wrap it off, you do have a nice sunroof, which will just push the button. That slides back. It's like a sunroof and a half. It's a little bit larger than a standard sunroof, but all nice one touch. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind this beautiful leather-wrapped steering wheel in our M440i. All right, guys, business time. On the driver's side, you do have your 2 memory seat settings, which is wonderful. And then as you come in, you're going to have the nice aluminum sill. This has that PDI tape that needs to be peeled off, but aluminum sill with the M badging. Love the size of the dead pedal. Brake and throttle are nicely positioned. You got a lot of room in the foot box. And then seat controls, everything's going to be taken care of on the side here. You get that lower lumbar kicking. You could squeeze. You could actually adjust the bolstering, which is nice as well. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, is it too much bolstering because it's an M440i? No, I think it could actually use a little bit more, to be honest, but that's going to be coming with the new M4. What I do love is, like any other BMW, the awesome steering wheel. Very thick wrap leather with the stitching is beautiful. You got your M logo. Of course, it's a heated steering wheel. Even the horn button looks very, very classy. You do have your paddles on the back of the steering wheel to go up and down your ZF 8-speed automatic. And then the dash, clean as day, graphics clear, crisp. it doesn't get any better when it comes to digital displays. And if you notice over here, you could actually get all sorts of readouts along with your tach and your speedometer, and you could go through tons of different settings, which is perfect. This one does have a head-up display. And also, one thing I want to point out is just the stitch work. Like, they just carried it all the way over to the edge. But like I promised, like I declared, like I proclaimed, we're going to check out the back seat in this M440i and see really, can you fit a 6-foot tall Joe Rady back there? All right, guys, here we go. So I already lifted up. This slides forward, the seat slides forward, and I think we're going to be in good shape. But let me just say a quick prayer. Let's see if I am going to be able to get in here and not break my back or anything. So squeezing in, not too bad, not too shabby. You know what? They pulled it off. They pulled it off. So could be just a little bit more room, at least for, I'm 6 feet tall. If you're lower than 6 feet, then you're going to be A-okay. Even at 6 feet, I'm really not having to kind of lay over or anything like that. You do have rear AC, which is wonderful. I have 2 USB-Cs, which is even better. And you're going to get that same great leather even on the armrest. Little tiny cubby pockets. You could put two Snickers or maybe 2 Twinkies. I'd rather have 2 Twinkies back here. Just don't get cream on the back seat. It gets really messy. Speaking of the backs of the seats, you do have plastic. The good news is you can clean your kids' boogers off of them when they pick their nose, and then you get those pesky cargo nets. But I know you want to see this. I'm going to pull the seat back and see if it breaks my legs. I'm going to have Victor see if we can slide the seat back for us here. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. So look at that. It's in the full back position, and I don't know if Victor can get it. My knee is not touching the back of the seat. So right off the bat, G22 chassis has really changed the back seat of the 4 Series. But why don't we go ahead, let's see how the trunk space fares in this all-new BMW. All right, guys, time to get into the trunk. Push right underneath the BMW logo, opens up, and you can see it's a little bit tight on the opening, but this is a coupe and not a sedan. And what you're basically looking at, if you want to know, well, Joe, what kind of actual space do we have back there? You're looking at 12 cubic feet of space. Of course, the seats we can kind of put down there. You have the levers to do that. You have perfect cubbies on both sides to put your emergency. You can put your bag, and I'm talking about like Costco-sized bag of Doritos on one side and a bag of Lay's on the other side. And then I would keep the Twinkies on the interior of the car so that they don't get too warm. You know, it gets a little messy. But speaking of getting things messy, we're not going to get this car messy, but we are. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this M440i for a spin. All right, guys, we're in the M440i, all new with the xDrive all-wheel drive system from BMW. We have it in sport mode, of course. Let's do a little bit of on-throttle fun. On throttle, here we go. Whoa. Oh my God. Wow. I'm telling you right now, that was pretty freaking good for a non-M car. Transmission dropped down, and each shift was very purposeful and really built steam quickly. I mean, like I said, for this not being an M4, it actually surprised me. Visibility out the back is fantastic. Side mirrors are a great size, great shape. Visibility out overlooking the hood is super clean. And I love the layout in here. I know I was talking with Victor about, compared to the previous generation, just how much room is up on the front end of the business here, let alone the back seats. The back seats is phenomenal. Up here, it's through the roof. That's how great the room is with being on the G22 chassis. But the steering wheel has that same great feel. They reworked the braking system for the 4 Series specifically, the steering, the suspension. So they really want this to have its own unique feel compared to the 3 Series. Downshifts, same story, very purposeful in that sport mode. All right, guys, driving along in the new 4 Series. I'm really liking what they've done with the quality of feel, fit, and finish. The sound deadening is amazing in here, and I really love putting it into manual shift mode. I just wish the paddles were a little bit closer to the edge of the steering wheel, but super smooth on the shifts. I mean, you downshift, on throttle. Wow. I'm telling you, very, very surprising just how snappy it is. And it's not an actual M car. The M440i is not a true M car. The M4 will be coming later in 2021. But for now, having the all-wheel drive, having that 382 horsepower, it really feels balanced in this new chassis of the 4 Series. Really good feedback too, coming from the wheel. We're gonna see how she handles a little bit when we go down a couple twisty bits, but definitely the room, the materials, everything has been elevated in this new 4 Series. All right, guys, we're gonna do a little bit of acceleration test. On throttle, here we go. Yeah! I tell you, this thing gets up and goes. On the brakes, brake feedback is phenomenal. Look at this, wow. This feels really great. Very composed. Great feedback coming to the steering wheel. When I got on the brakes, brake modulation, I could feel what was happening. And I think over the past, generations or two, that's something that's kind of faded away a little bit. But boy, oh boy, BMW is bringing it back. And they're giving you 2 scoops of raisins in this new 4 Series. All right, guys, we're gonna go once again through the twisties, really see how this chassis is set up and all the hard work that they've done at BMW. I'm gonna drop it down second gear, on throttle, here we go. Really nice, really, really nice. Feels good, look at this. Wow. I'm telling you, they've done their homework with this car. They really, really have. I love the downshifts, the upshifts. The steering feedback is really, really good. And I obviously can push this harder. That's how I feel behind the wheel. Obviously, it's not mine, but definitely you could turn up the wick whenever you want in this 4 Series. It's going to be exciting and very interesting to see what the M4 is going to be all about. But so quiet in here. The seats are comfortable, they're supportive. Yeah, of course I would like a little bit more bolstering, especially on the bottom portion, but that will be coming with the M4. We're not in a real M car, so I'm not going to go too crazy with zonking the bolstering in the seats. But everywhere else, I really love the touches and the feel and the finish. But we're going to finish this review. We're going to wrap it up, get back to Reeves, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been one heck of a day here at Reeves BMW. I definitely want to thank Alex and the rest of the crew getting this 2021 M440i, all new for 2021. Really liking the changes that BMW has moved in. And I'm telling you, the grille, look at it a little bit longer. It may grow on you, but it's nice to see them producing still a beautiful German luxury sports coupe that has plenty of power. That all-wheel drive keeps you planted. And you know what? If you want more horsepower, the M4 is coming. But definitely competition for the other German brands and anybody else that wants to step in the ring with this M440i. But if you want to keep seeing these luxury sport coupes here on the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rades Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Rades Rides merch. Got to give it up to Crown Vic. Normally I would be thanking him, but he should be thanking all of us for being here at Reeves BMW because he loves BMW. He actually has a mini BMW museum in his home that he's created ever since he was a small boy throughout the years. So Victor, you're welcome, and thank you for holding the camera. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.